Good morning, friends. My presentation to you today is good moral and values. Good moral and values. And how does this affect our radiant health? When I say good moral and values, I mean what are those things that are accepted in every society of the whole world? What are those things that you do as a human being and is generally accepted throughout the whole world, most especially in our continent, Africa? In our continent, Africa, we value some behavior that is expected of everyone before such a person is accepted in a society. There is a tribe in Nigeria where I belong, and the tribe is Yoruba tribe. In Yoruba tribe, we have so many values that we appreciate. These values, when you don't have at least about 60% of them in your behavior, people do not respect you. Some of the values I'm talking about are: when you wake up in the morning in Yoruba land in Nigeria, you should greet your parents. The girls will lean down and the boys will prostrate. That is always the first thing that is expected from a good children. After that, once you are about 30 years of age, a portion of part of the house is given to you to manage by sweeping. And even these days, when everybody uses tiles, some people will now prefer their children to wash their tiles, the tiles of every room in the house. These are part of our values. When you pass through an elderly person, you as a younger person supposed to greet first. Good morning, sir. Good morning, ma. Good afternoon. Good evening. This is part of our values in Yoruba land, in Nigeria, in Africa. So many countries in Africa have the same value I'm discussing now, just like we have it in Yoruba land. In Ghana is the same thing, in Senegal is the same thing, in Togo is the same thing, and so on. We all have related morals and values. When you don't have all this moral and value as a child, no one will respect you. Throughout the whole world, no one is expecting a child or a female child of 5 years to have boyfriend. They may have ordinary friends, but they cannot have spouse, because such a girl is thus a child. She is thus growing. At the moment, you now see a 5 year girl throughout the whole world having a man friend or a boyfriend, and they always engage in sexual exercise. That is a wrong value, and nobody would appreciate that. Apart from this, in every country, children are to be instructed as they are growing. We value that a good parent should teach his or her child what life entails, what they should do and what they should not do. Do you know that we have moral too for health? The teaching of a child to take daily bath, to comb his or her hair, to go to school very early in the morning, and on getting to school to behave well, to represent his or her family well. All these are morals and values that a community always give to their children. The right behavior when a child is in the school environment are general values all over the world. Everything has been outlined on what they should do from between 7:30 or 8 in the morning till about 2:30 in the afternoon, when the children are to go home, are all values. How these children should behave to the head of that school, to their class teachers, to their seniors among the students, all these are values that one is expected to give to children as they grow in every society of the world, and Africa included. The question now is, do you as a parent always value these values, and do you inculcate them into your children? Do you give your children all these moral and values, and does your child accept them? When they do not accept them, then what do you do to encourage them to accept all these values as parents, as good parents? Do you just leave the child at a certain point of his life? Maybe he is a teenager now. Do you just leave the girl as a teenager to do whatever he or she likes? Do you feel unconcerned about the society moral and values for these children as they are growing? Do you always know that these children are the leaders of tomorrow in any of the country of the world? Most especially in Africa, we always hope that when we are old, our children should be there for us, to care for us as old parents. Do you even know that all the values that I have listed, some of them, were made for good health for ourselves and our children? When you behave well in any society, people will respect you. When you keep values and morals of society, people would respect you. They will respect you in anything you want to do to make life, to become a good person in the society. But when you lack moral and values, people tend to run away from you. Do you know that in supporting our leaders in any of our countries, there are some behavior we should exhibit? Do you know that we have some moral and values to exhibit to help our leaders to do well in that position we have given to them? During the time when we vote in our society, in Africa, nobody is expected to take money before voting. But voting is not for sales. We should not vote our conscience out. When we do that, you know that anybody that bought their positions for money during election may not do well when they are there to lead you. And you, as that person that sold your vote, cannot say anything in contrary to such government, because you sold your conscience to them to be there. That senator you have chosen to represent your area, does that man worth it? Does that woman worth it? That's your governor. Do you know his behavior? Was he living with you? Can the man say one or two things about your problems in your state, in your community, before he or she was elected? All these are morals and values that we should value. The way we dress is very, very essential. Like what I said earlier, in Yoruba land, in Nigeria, where I belong, you do not open your chest anyhow. Especially ladies, do not dress like a man person. You do not show your breasts outside. Anything you do as a lady must be moderate. A lady in Yoruba land does not behave like a man. We cannot say that what men can do, women can also do them. Yes, there are certain jobs, there are certain behavior some women can exhibit just like men in Yoruba land. But there are some things that men can do and you cannot do. It's not common in Yoruba land, in Nigeria, to see women digging holes for well. I have not seen where a woman can marry up to 10 to 12 wives, but men have seen a lot of them in Yoruba land. Some religion even emphasize on 3 or 4 wives if you can take good care of them. But no religion in Yoruba land, in Nigeria, has emphasized that a woman can marry up to 4 wives at a time. All these are morals and values of our society that make things going on smoothly. And when you keep the moral and values of your society, you will live a healthy life. You were told not to tell lies. We were told not to engage on a business that is not acceptable by the society and the government at large. When you keep all this, you do not steal, you do not go to some people's house to gossip, you do not say what you do not know on media and on our daily papers. All these are moral and values of every society in Africa. So this morning, I'm beseeching you that we should try and keep our moral and values so that everything we do in this world will move on smoothly and everyone's health will be okay and radiant. These are what I thought about and I feel like discussing with you. Please always like, share, and make comments on whatever we are saying on this page. This will help our program. It will help our Africa Health and Counseling Society at large. Thank you so much.